bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Bring 'em Out with your hosts, Joel Richardson and Alan Hill.
Hey everybody, we're here at the Sunnybrook Ballroom inside the Speakeasy for another episode of Bring 'em Out. I'm Alan Hill, here with Soul Joel himself, Joel Richardson. Today, we have a very special guest.
Yeah.
One of my mother's favorite comedians. This is because of Steve Simone being here a couple weeks ago, who is my mom's other favorite comedian.
Yeah.
My man, Christian McCartney, is now on that list, and it's an exclusive list, my friend.
I'm excited to be on it, dude. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's insane. Right behind him, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Welcome, man.
And another guy that I discovered through the open mic, came in and started grinding. One of the first people to do our open mic here at Soul Joel's, but has been grinding on his own and built up his following to where people that actually work here, their kids have contacted. I mean, not to say the kids, but like they're like, dude, Christian McCartney has performed at Soul Joel's.
Dude, for real.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
Jewel.
Yeah, Jewel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Jewel got
telling
massive
you that.
bonus points for getting a picture with you with her
That
kids.
is crazy.
Yep.
But like, isn't that like, like you said, it's crazy, but it's almost hard to like fathom like how short, but how far you've come in that short amount of time. You know?
Dude, my anniversary is January 7th, and that'll be 3 years.
That's wild.
This is insane.
Was your first open mic at Soul Joel's? No.
No. My first open mic was at Harrisburg Comedy Zone.
Oh, you
Right?
Inside. Got it.
Yeah, it was inside. Yeah, but I'll tell, dude. But
I get
look,
My man likes walls. I can't blame him.
I can't help it. I like having the sand outside of my shoes.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the first thing. When I came to the Dome for the first time,
Yeah.
I was
the white
so-
side, we're like, we could do it. The black side,
I
was
was
like, this is
I
crazy.
was like, my shoes, though? What about my shoes?
We're off to the races.
Right.
Wait, so what happened?
When I first came to the mic at the Dome,
Yeah.
one, I was so nervous because I had heard that you did shows in Oxford.
Yeah.
And I literally have walked to the Oat. I'm in walking
funny.
distance. I mean, I used to be. That's where I grew up. I moved to Nottingham. But
Yeah.
I was so close, and I was like, I want to perform in my hometown. So I came up there trying to audition for you, and I remember being so nervous to meet you because I was like, oh my gosh, he's the club owner. I don't want to.
Soul Joel.
I don't want to. Yeah, right. I don't want to get on his bad side or anything. And I remember getting there, and I wore my nice shoes, to try to impress you. And I was like, I gotta walk through all this.
You know, this jerk looked me right in the eyes. He didn't even notice my shoes.
He didn't. I wanted to say my eyes are up here, but I couldn't. He wasn't even looking.
I didn't want him to look at my shoes. Oh, that's so funny, dude. Yeah. So you had to drive all the way there to and coming from Oxford to then perform in Oxford. Yeah.
Just to perform back at Oxford.
Dude, but that says a lot about you, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was.
You're in it.
I was so. Oh my gosh, yeah. And that was like one of my first couple times performing in Pennsylvania, because like the first time was at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone.
Yeah.
But then,
Which is also Pennsylvania.
yes,
It's the capital.
yes,
but anyway.
correct. Yes, correct.
Solid geography.
I'm fresh out of high school. I should know this stuff. But then I started going to Baltimore just because
Okay.
a lot of stuff in Pennsylvania is an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Like here's an hour and a half, but I live right on the Maryland line, so Baltimore's an hour.
Dude, I'm the exact same distance from here as I am to Magoobies.
Oh my gosh. Okay. that's
I'm
crazy.
from Lancaster.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So I was like, well, if I have to go to one of these places every night, I'd rather be the hour one.
Oh,
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Yeah. And honestly, I found out about you through a Baltimore comic, Law.
Law. Shout out
yeah.
to Law. I love Law.
I know Law's amazing, and I kept
So funny.
seeing him performing up in Pennsylvania, and I was like, I live in Pennsylvania. Where's this club that he's talking about? And then that's when I came to the open mic.
Dude, and I met Law through him calling the club, which went directly to my cell phone. And he didn't even ask for anything. All he said was, if I drive all the way from Baltimore, can I at least get on stage? Like, and I respected that
Yeah.
because
Oh, I got you.
I was like, I don't, he didn't want to drive 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it's going to be,
If he
and
can.
then not be able to get on stage.
Oh, yeah.
That's all
sense.
he wanted, and he crushed it. And again, it was like, nice to meet you, and then, the rest is history. We had
That
him
is so cool.
Deadpan Law.
Right.
I
yeah,
like that
yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
man. He is a funny
Well,
dude and
so
a good
funny.
man.
He
But
is.
then what came first then? Did you performing comedy or your TikTok?
Oh, performing. I've been performing my entire life.
Okay.
And when I went to Elizabethtown College.
Right. Oh, no kidding.
Wait,
Yeah.
your entire life, because you are a senior citizen.
Yes. I actually would be
My
a
whole life, dog.
I would be a senior in college right now, so I'm close to that. I would be because I'm 22.
Yeah.
And I started when I was 19.
Okay.
But I've been doing theater, improv, performance my whole life.
No kidding.
So as soon as I got into stand-up, I was like, this is nothing new other than I'm writing my own material now.
Mhm.
And my whole family has been funny my whole life. I've known how to get into that, but writing jokes, I love the structure and formula of writing jokes. So when I remember being in my college dorm and in between classes, I would go to YouTube and I would study how to write jokes, and I have notepads and notepacks of terrible jokes that I was writing because I wanted to be like Jim Carrey so bad. And I remember the first time I went down to Baltimore to do wits at Magoobies.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
their open,
Wits End, yeah.
their open mic. I
Matt
drove
Brown.
an hour. Yeah. Matt's
Shout out to
awesome.
Matt. Love
yeah,
you, buddy.
I love Matt.
That's the first comedian I ever met.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Love that guy.
amazing. Matt is so cool.
We got a lot of sidebars here.
We have to.
We'll get to what you want to talk about.
There's a lot of parenthetical conversation.
the parentheses.
Back to you, Christian.
Zoom in moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we're down in Baltimore.
I drove an hour to do the open mic for. I was only on stage for 2 minutes. You have a 5-minute slot. I didn't understand that comedians worked on material.
So this is your first ever on stage. No, because that was Harrisburg.
This is probably my 4th time.
Okay.
Because I did Harrisburg twice, and then I did the competition at Magoobies, won that,
Yeah.
and then Matt told me.
Whoa. Let's not brush past that. You did a competition on your 3rd time on stage and won?
Yeah.
That's insanity.
It was so cool. Well, because I didn't know that comedians worked on material. I thought.
Let's not brush over that.
right, yeah.
By the way, number one. Here's
We are
number two.
And we're covering your whole life.
Exactly.
I had only I had been like working on the material over and over again in my basement, performing in front of a mirror because I had done that when I was really young. I heard that Jim Carrey did that, and he would just make faces in the mirror. So
notorious for it.
oh
Yes.
yeah, so I've been doing that since preschool.
Wow.
That's why faces are such a big thing in my.
That's so funny because I noticed how you brought that to another level. Like I've always noticed it, but I did notice more of it at your set last week with Steve
Oh,
Simone.
Your
yeah.
physicality is off
Yeah.
the charts. And your writing is great, too. So the combination, brother.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad, dude. Steve Simone gave me the best compliment after the show. He said, "I can tell Jim Carrey inspires you, but you have your own voice."
100%. That's a great way to put
my
it.
gosh, I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
chills when he told me that because everybody always tells me I remind them of Jim Carrey, and I love that
Yeah.
because that's always been my goal. I want to be like a new Jim Carrey, but also every comedian wants to have their own voice and not sound like someone else.
Yeah.
So when he told me that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is such a big compliment."
He sees me for me.
Right? Thank you, Steve.
And Steve, what a great guy to get that
Oh my
compliment
gosh!
from.
Right after watching him crush,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, what a pro,
it was
man.
insane.
And one of
So,
the nicest people in the business.
yeah,
And he's the same as you with his beliefs and like openly like believing in God and not being afraid to say it.
Yeah.
But also not cursing.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, is that something that you set out to do also, or something that like did you ever curse?
When I was in middle school, I did. I cursed.
No.
That's awesome.
Wait, what do you mean?
Jeepers creepers! I let a few slide.
When he was working the crowd in the lunchroom.
I was though.
6th through 7th grade. Then 8th
That
grade,
was
I
his blue material years.
I was dirty, dude.
When he found some old Lenny Bruce album.
I
I meant like in the first couple open mics, like
Oh, okay.
yeah, as a comic. Yeah.
Okay. No, I did not curse. Only because I didn't want to be like my parents. In that sense, they curse a lot.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I think it's hilarious when they curse.
Yeah.
But growing up watching Jim Carrey's movies, I could watch it with my family, parents, and the kids, and we were all dying laughing.
You united the whole family.
Yeah.
Something they could do together.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what I want my comedy to be. I don't
Beautiful.
want people to have, all right, kids, you can't watch this. Because I remember laughing with my parents as
Yeah.
a kid, and that was like the greatest feeling ever.
Mhm.
Because it's like we're connecting through this one thing, and laughter is so strong. Why not want to bring people together with it? So
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome,
That's
man.
why
And I
I
imagine you got shuttled out of the room if Beverly Hills Cop came on or something like that.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. I had to watch that by myself.
So here's another funny moment that I just realized, and I didn't share with either one of you. So there was a couple that came. They've been coming since inside Roarsford before we went outside during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
They brought their kids for that reason because it said family friendly. The one son had never met me.
Mm-hmm.
The other son performed. They were part of that band that opened up for
Oh, American Hand Grenade.
American Hand Grenade.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why I got this all together. So we all. But they loved the whole show. Some of Steve Simone's jokes went over because even though he's family friendly, adult humor, like getting all the jokes.
References.
Mhm.
But they love Christian McCartney because they recognized him from TikTok.
Oh, I love it, dude.
So-
love it.
They were like
even
real cool
better.
to like come to where their parents always talk about like, hey, you're with the babysitter. You know, we're going to Soul Joel's, and
Yeah.
they came to go. But they also felt like their parents felt cool because they brought them to somewhere where they got to meet someone they've seen
That
online
is so cool.
in real life.
So
That is
cool.
so awesome.
And one thing I learned doing research that was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your pop for a second. Yeah.
Crispy?
Crispy.
Oh, yeah.
Your
'Cause-
white father.
My
Yeah.
white father.
White father named Crispy.
Delicious.
White.
Yeah.
Come see his act to get that
He used
information.
to be white. He used to be
What
white.
happened?
Well,
Start
tell,
going-
dude, tell Joel how you got started on TikTok.
Dude, it's strictly because of him.
Oh,
when
really?
when I dropped out of
I
college.
was kind of asking that earlier, but we got sidetracked.
Oh yeah, sorry.
As we will.
So
So
easy.
what,
Oh yeah.
What came first? Definitely comedy.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that's how this conversation started. That's insane.
How did we get here? So crispy.
Crispy. When I dropped out of college to do it, because I came home on Christmas break,
Okay.
did the Harrisburg open mic,
Yep.
bombed horribly, but I was like, I want to do this. So I came
So I
home,
quit college and started comedy.
literally, and I was going to be a teacher.
Wow.
So I dropped out, and after 2 semesters,
And your dad really started cursing.
yeah, oh yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, dude, we have such a tight relationship. He didn't talk to me for a couple days when I told him I was dropping out.
Oh, wow.
So it was a big thing
deal.
because me and him are like this. And when he wasn't talking to me for a couple days, I was like, all right, he's really serious. He really wanted me to stay in school. But I really felt like God was calling me to do comedy. It was I got
Now, how long ago was this?
3 years ago.
Oh, 3. Oh, yeah, because you would have been a
Yeah.
senior. Okay, do the
Yep.
math. Yep.
And yeah.
Back to you.
And, one of my professors, one of my education professors, it was on Zoom class the second semester. I had not told anybody I wanted to be a comedian, but the whole first semester in Elizabethtown, I was already studying stand-up,
Okay.
and I was practicing
side?
it. Yeah, and I was doing the improv group at the college, so like I was just kind of preparing myself to be
awesome.
in front of people.
Your
again.
unofficial
cool.
minor.
Literally, yes, literally, it was my
Perfect.
minor.
That's so funny.
I would like do impressions of the teachers when we'd get together with our class outside of class, and
Just killing.
like we watched the country. I took a country music class, and we watched the CMAs
Yeah.
as our project.
So that's not a joke either. You love country.
Oh, I love country music. Yeah,
That's so
dude.
funny.
During the pandemic, I started listening to it as a joke, and then because I graduated in 2020 from high school,
Yeah, yeah.
and then at Elizabethtown they had a class.
What a year.
Right? They had a class called the History of Country Music, and I took it as a joke. And then I got there, and it was my favorite class.
And you got into it from that.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
That's
I fell in love
wild.
with it. It was so much fun. And like my best friends, people that came to my wedding were from that class. And I was only there for a semester.
That's wild.
But there's still some like my really good friends.
That's really cool.
And so I was getting into stand up. When I dropped out, I really wanted to just do stand up and kind of go back to 70s, 80s where you just get good at stand up and then people around start talking, "Oh, hey, have you seen so and so or do you know about this?"
Right.
I wanted to do that. I didn't want to do social media because I hate social media with a passion. And that's why I think it's hilarious that like
I'm sure a lot of people with millions of followers say that.
that's what
It's a necessary evil.
Dude, it's so you do need it nowadays though.
Let's
And,
not go down this road again.
Oh, boy.
Viral.
Oh, my family, we call it venereal.
Oh,
I don't know, my family call it, yeah. Like I posted.
you're clean. Your family's dirty.
I post. Oh yeah, dude. If my dad got on stage, it would not be family friendly. But we posted a video of my grandma, and it started doing really, really well. And we were like, she was like, "What does that mean? That's doing really well." We're like, "Granny J, you're venereal." She was like, "Not again." We were like, "What?"
Oh.
So like the whole family has a sense of humor. And he told me, he was a Christian, if you want to do this, you have to do social media because that's how people are getting in nowadays. And I strictly remember him telling me, he said, your voices are funnier, your faces are funnier. You are funnier than most of the people on that app. Just try it. And I started posting 10 videos a day, and it just blew up like crazy.
Really?
Yes. And it was because if he didn't tell me to do that, I would not have TikTok. I probably wouldn't even have a
But
Instagram.
you were just literally religious with it, where you're posting 10 a day.
Oh yeah, I would come home. I was working at a daycare and at a gas station at that time, and I was doing comedy at night. I would come home.
You have a great bit about the gas station.
Oh, I love that.
Another sidebar.
Yeah, come to the shows to see
My
that. We're not going to talk about that
favorite bit
specifically.
by far. But I would come home from work, and whatever thoughts I was having at work, I would put them in the notes on my phone, and I would make those into TikToks. And my goal was to say sentences that nobody had ever said.
Okay.
So it was just nonsense stuff because I didn't do dances.
Crispy.
He came in way later. Oh,
Okay,
that's a whole testimony in and of itself. How that name and how all that even came to be.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But when I was first starting out, I just wanted to say stuff that nobody had ever said. So I would make a face, like I'll do this, and then I would put a voice to it or put the girl voice to it or something like that, and I would say a random sentence, and I would just throw words into it. And people would love it because it reminded them of Vine. You remember Vine?
Yeah.
So I loved Vine. I wanted to be big on Vine when I was younger, but I wasn't because I was like 8 when it was out. And so this was like, I wanted to model my videos after that. People liked the nostalgia of Vine. They started watching my videos. Younger people liked the faces, the voices, and parents liked that their kids could watch it.
Right.
One of the biggest comments I've ever gotten is somebody come up to me and say, I love that my kids can watch your stuff. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, yeah, I want the kids to be able to laugh.
Yeah.
Because I view like just how in the Bible, there's a portion of the Bible where Jesus was walking around with the disciples and kids were coming up to Jesus and the disciples were like, no, get away, get away. And Jesus was like, no, I welcome the kids to come to me. Like I love children just as much as I love adults. Everybody's soul is important. Yeah. And that's how I wanted to view comedy. Like I didn't want to push kids away with comedy. I wanted to bring everybody together.
I love that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be filtered or you want to be inclusive, not exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to turn anything down.
Nope. And like
nothing.
I'm a weirdo, so it's and it's
welcome to the speakeasy.
Welcome, yeah. Welcome. So like it's easy to be weird. Yeah. Oh, no. Wait, what'd you just do?
I just did eyebrows to Chris.
Oh yes, Chris.
Exactly.
And I like being because like kids are weird, obviously, so that attracts them to the videos and. It really just went up. I remember my first couple followers were people I went to high school with. Okay. And I was like, okay, this is cool. But I remember I started getting people who didn't go to my high school to follow me. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then one of the videos blew up. For the longest time, I think, for maybe over a year, people on TikTok didn't know what my real voice was because I was doing a voice in every single video.
Wow.
And, like, that became a thing.
Does he sound like a man? Does he sound like a girl?
Exactly, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Was that him?
Dude, so I talk about it in my set. About growing up, people thought I was a girl. Yeah. And I'm not joking. Like, people really did think I was a girl. And people on TikTok.
Is she pretty?
I know. And my mom has always
like, no
told
makeup
me.
Pretty.
Dude, it's so bad.
I get it.
My mom still tells me that I would make a pretty girl to this day.
and it still sticks in you. You're like, I don't want to remember, but I can't forget.
Dude, that's why I had to make a bit about it. Because I was like, this is happening too often. Yeah. And people on TikTok thought that I was a girl. People would put in the comment section. To this day, people will come on my lives and they'll be like, what's it like being transgender? And I'm like, I am not transgender. What are you talking about? Yeah. So people, they're
are those
bold
lips
with
fake?
It. Right? You got lip injections? It's like, no, I just use a lot of chapstick. Okay, I can't help it.
And I'm sure you can make that noise.
Oh, yeah. Get over it.
Oh, that's wild.
Dude.
So, but is that going back to what you were talking about when you were in college for a couple semesters? What you had all your friends around, was that was literally like your first shows before you performed, and they're very intimate and getting their reactions, and that's where you started getting that endorphin rush.
Oh yeah,
the adrenaline rush from performing.
Yep, I literally remember we were watching the CMAs in the dorm room common area.
Yeah,
and we ordered pizza and everything. We were all sitting there, and in between the artists, I would get up and impersonate our professor like he was the one introducing the artist.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they loved it. And at the time I was doing improv, and when I was doing improv, I felt like the sharpest I'd ever been, like so witty and everything.
Yeah.
So doing that on top of
right.
performing like for that small group, oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Did your professor ever catch wind of it? Did they ever see it?
I have no idea.
So to this day,
I have no idea. But another inspiration,
Yeah.
my professor, he used to put his YouTube up on the screen,
Okay.
so we'd listen to like old country music songs and like decipher them or whatever.
Yeah.
But his
handle or like whatever, like his channel.
not handle, but the videos that would come up recommended for him
Oh, yeah.
boy.
would be dry bar comedy.
Oh,
yeah.
And so I
course it
saw
caught your
that.
eye.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, what's a dry bar? Found it, it's clean comedy. So now I have another goal to get a dry bar set and be able to send it to him.
Oh, you won't have to send it to him. He'll
He'll find it on his own.
he'll-
Yeah.
Be like he'll email you and be like, Christian.
Oh, man. You got to throw him a little a message doing an impression of himself to him.
Oh my gosh, that would be so wild. I remember his name was Dr. Bomberger, but we would call him Dr. Bomb Diggity
Bomb diggity.
because this dude was so
What a comedy name.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was such a sweet dude, and I just remember that class being my favorite class, and he was such a cool dude. My friends were really awesome, but I was like, even though I like all this, still nothing is like performing.
Yeah.
And this is what I was going to say earlier. I had a professor while I was in class. This was like not minutes, maybe a couple days before, pretty close. Right before
Semester later.
Yes, that's right. Before I knew I wanted to drop out because I'd come home for the second semester and we had to start on Zoom because like COVID was going crazy again.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so annoying. I hate being on my computer a lot just because it makes me sick. And like literally I would start getting sick just because I'd be sitting in front of the screen.
Yeah.
One of our professors told us that she's like, listen, you guys are all here for education. She says some of you aren't going to be teachers. Some of you are going to be nurses. Some of you are going to, I don't know, work at a bar. Some of you are going to be comedians. Some of you. And when I heard her say that, I was like, what? I got chills. I just got chills again because I remember when she said that. And I was like, I've never told anybody that I want to. Yeah. I was like, I didn't tell anybody else I wanted to be a comedian. And there were only 4 other people in the class.
What?
Like on the Zoom call.
Oh, on the Zoom call.
On the Zoom call, there were only 4 students in the class.
This is mid-pandemic. I mean, this
Yeah.
is the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
The start of it.
So there were only 4 other people, me and 3 girls in my class, and 1 professor. And she had said that. And I was like, that is so crazy. So I felt like that was God speaking through her telling me, yeah, your assumptions, what you're feeling is right. Get into comedy. And then I was fully confident in it after that.
Wow.
And one of those girls dropped out the next day and became a nurse.
I guess so. yeah. Hopefully. We're both healing people now. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Dude, that's
That's
wild.
really cool,
So
man.
It's really
That is
cool, right?
really cool.
Yeah. So then,
Amazing.
how long did it take to you become viral then? With like, did it all happen at once? Because you said like you.
Yeah, from
posted-
the first time you did a TikTok
Yeah.
to blowing up.
Yeah.
So I posted 10 consistently every day.
Zero fat in that question, by the way. Nice job.
That was very good.
What did Joel say, Alan?
People wonder why I'm here.
You're the filter.
There's a
Good job.
glimpse.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's good though. I don't remember the question now. What was the
From
question?
the first time you did a TikTok to the first one that blew up big.
Oh, okay. Maybe a couple of months.
Okay.
And I remember it was me eating it. It was me doing a country dude's voice and throwing a girl who I was also playing an apple. And because she was a horse girl. And then I had her neigh like a horse. And that blew up because it was so weird. I don't even remember what I did, but it was because of how absurd it was. The horse neigh and the girl's voice, it was so wild, and people were like, there's no way that's his real voice. There's no way he made that sound. And that blew up. And then not too long after that, the Talking Some Smack
That's
video.
the one I thought was the
went.
first one. Okay.
Which everybody thinks it is, but it
Mhm.
wasn't. That was the one that went way beyond anything else I've posted. That was that.
Did you ever hear that one, Joel?
No.
Oh my God.
Want me to
It's
do
really
it?
funny. Yeah, do it. Do it.
Okay,
If you don't mind, that would be awesome.
No, but yes.
Yeah. No, but yes. Yep.
It's a yes for me, dog.
Yep.
This is the sound. All right, ready?
Yeah, well, I just let you know that I heard that you've been talking some smack, and I just want you to know that I've been taking Taekwondo lessons in the back of the Walmart Supercenter, so if you don't want to get hurt, then you better stop.
That's it. That was it, Joe.
And hit boom.
Yeah.
Dude.
But I'm
it-
like, I like that so much, I'm going to watch it again.
Right.
I'm gonna watch it again.
And that's what was happening. And people, again, okay, before I go any further,
Yeah.
everything that's happened in my career, it's all by the grace of God. And there's no way it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's done that for a specific reason, so that when I tell people about my career, I can't leave him out of it. Because every major milestone in my career has been out of my control.
Right on.
And it's been in moments like where I want to involve him more in my life, and he's like, "Okay, you're going to do that? Well, when I'm in control, great things happen."
Yeah.
And
That makes two of us on this couch.
that's
No,
what
for
I'm
real.
ta-
But
dude,
go ahead.
it's insane.
Yeah.
It's amazing. When the weekend I posted that video, my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, we were on the way.
She got upgraded.
She did. She's wifey status now. Okay. Yes. Her and I were on the way to
Mrs. Mr. McCartney.
Yeah. That was not to you, Chris. That was to the camera. Okay, never. I'm sorry. It was to you if you wanted.
That
it to
kiss
be.
stopped at the camera. Who cares? All right. Back to you.
That weekend we'd drive like 2 hours down to, I can't remember where it is, but it's somewhere in Delaware. We'd driven down there because her mom's boyfriend had a lake house down there.
Okay.
So we went down to visit them. And that, on the way down there, it was our first time ever having a serious conversation about inviting God into our relationship. Because like we're teenagers, and most teenagers want to do whatever they want. But like
Sure.
when you take your relationship with God seriously, you should be letting him lead you in like all areas. And that's so scary because like being in control is one of the main things that everybody wants.
No doubt.
And I still wanted that. But we were talking and we had a serious conversation. It was like a 2.5 hour drive. Whole time on the way down there, we talked about wanting to involve God in our relationship more. That whole weekend, we would wake up, do Bible studies together in the morning, and then be reading this other book, this other devotional that we were doing. And the whole weekend, I was making 5 videos that Saturday. So I went over into where we were staying, made 5 videos. Talking Some Smack was one of them.
Mhm.
That wasn't even one of the videos I thought was the funniest.
Wow.
Posted that, and then by the time we got home, it was through the roof, already over 1 million views.
Wow, dude.
And
That must've been wild.
it was crazy to watch because every time it feels like I was giving more of my life to God, he was like, okay, now that you're giving me this, now I can move on into here and into this other area that you weren't letting me into before. That's why I said the whole thing about crispy.
Yeah.
Can I talk about that?
Yeah. Of course.
So,
Yeah.
we...
We'll just cross that question off the list.
yeah. Naturally
Alan?
comes up. when we graduated high school 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the weekend where we got sent home for
Yep.
COVID.
Yep.
And they were telling us that like this thing was going around in Unionville and Kennett. And we all thought it was like some sex disease. We were like, ew, they're disgusting. They're shutting the school down because
Yeah.
they're that filthy.
Dude,
And
I
then-
remember the first celebrity that
Yeah.
I heard got COVID. Tom Hanks.
Tom
I
Hanks.
go, an American treasure?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we don't got to worry about him anymore. I thought it was like, no, he does. They don't have to die. They can
Yeah,
die from this,
yeah.
but like
Yep.
when we didn't fully understand
Totally. It was,
Exactly.
it was so
as
crazy
crazy
at that
as
time.
it sounds, I do remember
Yeah.
that rational.
Nobody knew what was going on or
And
what
I
to believe.
wasn't
We had
in
no
high school.
idea.
Yeah, right.
He was a grown
45
man.
years old, and I didn't know what the hell was going on.
A grown man.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Anywho.
Yeah, so I remember getting sent home that day. it was literally in the middle of our senior year.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, my wife now, I'll just call her Haley because that's her name.
Yeah.
Nice.
She came over to my parents' house, spent the night, and because we thought we were going to be back to school in a couple days. She ended up never going back to her parents' house, and she stayed living with us for the next year and a half. I went off to college. She stayed living at my parents' house.
Wow.
And came back, dropped out, felt like God was calling me to do comedy. Felt like he was moving in my life, and I was like, this is amazing. We were praying that we could get a place to live together. I got outside of my parents' house and got an apartment above a garage from a church family friend, and cheap. It was like perfect in our range, especially because we're young and with how insane money is nowadays, like with how expensive everything is, there's no way we'd be able to get a house. But
And your chosen profession.
yeah, and doing comedy is not exactly a money-making scheme in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not at all. No.
Yeah, the middle of a pandemic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man. Exactly. So we got this apartment, and now this was 2 years ago, maybe. Got this apartment. We still weren't married, weren't even engaged, and
Living in sin.
exactly, yes, we were living in sin, and because we wouldn't give that part of our relationship.
I've
to
read
God.
his word.
Yeah. Oh, that's the truth. Yeah. We were definitely living in sin. And I was blocking it out of my mind because I kept coming up with the excuse, we're not living in sin. God blessed us with an amazing opportunity to have a cheap apartment. There's no way this isn't from God. Clouding my own mind, getting in my own way. So we were living in that apartment for a couple of months, and TikTok was going terrible. My videos were doing absolutely
Like after the blow up, it hit a
Oh,
valley.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
it
say.
had
Right on.
So it was the
diminished.
roller coaster. You're talking about the valley after the peak.
Oh, yeah. And this was
Okay.
a low valley. Like, for how many
Wow.
followers I had, the videos were getting jack.
That's
and,
wild.
And did anything change, like as far as your consistency? Like you were still posting 10 a day?
I wasn't posting 10 a day anymore, just because after it had gotten, like, to millions of followers, I was like, okay, I don't think I need to post 10 a day. So I started coming down to maybe 3 or 4.
Do you think in hindsight that's what caused it, or
I don't know.
I
The
mean,
reason-
it's hard to say, right?
It's so hard to say because there's valleys and peaks whether you're amazing or not, like on
Right.
TikTok. But also I wasn't posting content that was drama-inducing. You know what I mean?
I see.
And I'm not inviting people on my page to come argue in the comment section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what brings a lot of people.
China wasn't trying to
I see.
reward you.
Exactly. Not yet, at least. You know? Not yet.
Yeah.
I am looking for a sponsor, though. So if
Hey.
you're China, if you're listening. No.
Oh, they're listening.
Oh, they're listening. I got an Apple Watch on.
That's so funny.
That's great.
But so at the time, my church was about to start this discipleship class.
Okay.
And mind you, during all of this of us living in sin, I was still telling people that I was a Christian, still doing clean comedy, trying to live every other area of my life for God except my relationship, which is the most important area of my life. And finally it hit me. I was like, look, we cannot. God had been convicting my heart over and over the next couple of months that we were living there. I mean, like songs out here on the radio, it was like he was calling. That's crazy.
China.
That could have been a sponsor, and you didn't.
Yeah, anyway, answer. That was his sponsor. Dude, come on.
It was Chef Scott Ready, but we'll be right back.
So this
Keep going.
we were about to start this discipleship class in my church, and we really wanted to do it because we're still involved with the church, helping out with the children's church and everything. And we were just hiding this part of our life from the church and everybody else, and even from God, really, because I wouldn't pray about it, nothing.
Okay.
And finally, we started taking this discipleship class. In the first day of the discipleship class, the main thing about discipleship is that you should be able to tell other people you want to live your life like Christ.
Yeah.
Follow me as an example, saying that I live my life, or I'm trying to live my life as Christ-like as I can, that I'd be willing to have other people follow me. And I was like, I can't do that because of this one area of my life.
Smacked you right in the face with it.
Oh
huh?
my gosh. And it was so overwhelming. Every song I heard on the radio, I'd burst into tears because I just felt like God was saying, I have so much more planned for you. Please just let me take control. I've been thinking about it for months. One morning, she was about to go to work, she was about to go to work. I was laying in bed, woke up, and I was like, look, we have to talk. And she got so scared. I was like, I'm not breaking up with you. I promise I'm not breaking up with you. I said, but I can't live here anymore. Like, I have to move back in with my parents. And in 45 minutes, we went through every ring of reflection, every ring of sadness. We were depressed for a couple minutes. It was a roller coaster of emotion. We were on the bathroom floor crying. It looked like an Eminem music video, and we were going through everything, dude. We were bawling, and then by the end,
I think you painted that picture.
yeah, I tried to.
Well done.
Yeah.
It was
No
so
further
bad.
questions.
Wow.
And by the end of it, though, by the end of the conversation, she was making jokes that my dad would be happy that because he likes me so much, he'd be glad to have me back in the house. And so she was making jokes about that. And the fact that she was making jokes about it by the end of the conversation with how it started, I was like, okay, God is giving us peace right now. I moved back in with my parents, started working at the gas station because we were engaged, and I really wanted to be able to pay for the wedding that we were going to have, and I wasn't making a lot of money with comedy. So I wanted something steady. Exactly.
Yeah.
Beginning of 2023.
Kidding.
That's when this was happening.
That's when this was happening.
That's
This
when
is
this
so
happened.
crazy, man.
Beginning of
Okay.
2023. I started working at the gas station, night shift, still doing comedy. Moved back in with my parents. I started making content with my family.
I've seen a lot of this.
And yeah,
It's
people
great.
love
It's great.
content with their family. Oh, thank you. And dude, that's the thing. I never realized
His
this.
family's so funny too.
It's amazing. I never realized this. People, when they watch a video, they want to see themselves represented in the video, even if it's just a comedy video. So, like, I would be the goofy, crazy, wild person in the video,
Yeah.
and people who aren't goofy and crazy would just be annoyed with it. They wanted to see their perspective in the video of somebody being annoyed. So I'd be goofy and crazy, annoying my dad. He would show the annoyed face, give an annoyed response, and then people would love his responses, the people who associate with him.
Right.
So the videos with him started going crazy.
And now you've broadened the base exponentially.
Yeah, the videos started going viral again. There was a week where every single video was over 1 million views, and it was all because I'd moved back. If I had not moved back in with them, I wouldn't be with them this much.
Right.
And because all those videos started going viral and everything, I was able to go live, thousands of people in the live every time. And I was like, look, guys, I do stand-up comedy. I want to come perform for you guys. Tell me where you live. They started sending me the places where they live. I was reaching out to clubs in those areas. And that's how I put the tour together.
Okay, that's okay.
So did all that work, and it was insane. Putting the tour together, like, without a manager or agent was wild. There was
Highlight that real quick.
Oh, my God.
By himself.
Yeah.
Put together a headlining tour all over the country, kind of.
Dude, I was not
Lots of different
sleeping
places.
at all. It was miserable. But also the greatest time because finally I felt like because I'd given that part of my life to Christ, he was like, finally, now I can give you all these blessings I've been waiting
Here we
for.
go.
The videos of Crispy started going viral. He became his own character.
Yeah, that's so
That dude has
awesome.
like 40,000 followers on TikTok.
Does he really?
Yes.
That's so awesome, man.
And it's so
he's-
weird.
What's he gonna do with him?
Right?
Crispy, if you watch this, I can't wait to meet you someday.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That's we're gonna get you a headlining date at Oxford. Dude, yeah, I
Oh,
wanted to.
beautiful.
I wanted to
Oh
save
my
it for after the pod, but here we are.
The surprise is out.
Let 'em know,
That's
let
out
'em
of
know.
the bag. That's
dude, I'll be
I
there.
wanted
I'll
to see
come out
if
to
you wanted
Oxford
to
for
grab
that one, for
dinner.
sure.
I was gonna bring up
Gosh.
dessert.
Dude, that's so
Oh, yeah.
awesome,
That's
man.
nice.
Yeah.
So, tour, put it all together. While I was putting together dates for tour, somebody DM'd me on Instagram asking me if I wanted to come do social media stuff at a festival for them. It's a Christian music festival, really big Christian music festival. And they had this lady headlining the weekend named Lauren Daigle. She's a huge Christian artist. She doesn't do Christian festivals. So to have her headline the weekend, it was huge. They just brought me there to do social media stuff, make some videos.
Oh, okay.
And I told them, because I got on a Zoom call with them, I was like, hey, I do comedy. And they had 2 comedy nights there.
Oh.
And they had the headliners. One was Aaron Weber, and who like tours with Nate Bargatze and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard Aaron
And
Weber
the other
for
one
sure.
was Shama Marima. He's a social media
Him I
person.
don't know.
Okay.
Christian comedy.
Okay.
And very niche, but he's very funny. And I was like, hey, you will need an opener for these acts. Can I come perform? And they were like, we'll talk about it for a little bit. So I sent them clips of me doing stand-up, and they got the clips, reviewed them, emailed me back. They're like, Christian, we'd love to have you perform these nights. You can do opening 5-minute set. And obviously, like, I'm like, 5 minutes, really? But I was like, I'll take it. I'll be grateful for anything I can get. Took it. When I got there the first night, Aaron told me, he was like, dude, 5 minutes isn't going to warm the audience up enough. You can do 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, my gosh. So I was able to do 15 minutes both nights.
Oh, that's a gift. Nice.
And this was, dude, hundreds of people were watching this comedy, like, live after the festivals, because they were both late-night comedy sessions. While I was on tour, the festival started the tour. It went amazing. Then was going to all these different states, doing everything. In the middle of the tour, I got an email saying from an agent. And the agent knew who I was because she books the music artist for the Alive Music Festival.
Okay.
And one of the employees at the music festival told her to watch out for me because I'm a rising young comedian and that she would want to be on the lookout. She is now my manager. Sorry, my agent. And do you know who John Christ is?
Yeah.
It's
huge.
It's his sister.
Get out.
Yeah.
I saw the name on your website, and I thought, I wonder if, and I thought, nah,
yeah.
there's no way.
Yep. Right. That's what I thought.
He's like he's like,
dude,
if not
he
the
is.
biggest, one of the
He
biggest
is the
Christian
biggest
Is that
comics.
his
Yeah, yeah,
agent
yeah.
too now?
No, not anymore. So she used to represent him, but now she works for this thing called Platform Artists, and that's where they have all these these artists that I listened to growing up, and we don't have the same agency, which blows my mind.
Wow. Cool.
So started working with her. She got me the Memphis gig. First gig that she got me was headlining the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee after the Grizzlies and the Orlando Magic game.
Wow.
And that's coming up in 2024.
Dude, well,
Are you thinking about firing her?
Yeah, right. Obviously, we need to get rid of this one.
She's terrible, clearly. She's not bringing anything.
Wow.
I know.
Welcome in.
Yeah.
Dude,
You know?
and she told me,
Yeah.
she was like, Christian, this is not normal. I don't know why God's blessing you with this, but take it. She said, because it's not normal. She's like, these gigs do come around. She said, but for your first one, this is not normally happen. All of this to happen in a year, this was the beginning of 2023 when this was happening. And we're a couple days away from 2024.
Right.
For this to all happen in this span of time, there is not a doubt in my mind that it was God's orchestration being like, yep, you need to be here this time. You need to be in front of this person. You need to be right here. You need to have this joke ready. So let me put you at this job. If I never worked at the gas station, I would never have my closer for my act.
And that's a killer bit.
Dude, yeah. It's
Killer
my
bit.
closer.
Yeah.
And if I wouldn't have worked back the night shift, I never would have
Hindsight,
gotten that
now you
bit.
can put it all together, but while you're going through it, you're like, none of this makes sense.
Dude, I was miserable, especially at the night shift, because I'd be coming home I'd be leaving to go out to Baltimore, do mics, come back up to Oxford, work 12 to 6, go home, sleep for a couple hours, wake up at 2, make TikToks, leave by 5 to get to Baltimore to do more open mics over and over. I was getting no sleep, nothing. But, again, I wasn't in control of it, and that put God in control of it, and I was able to get close relationships with the people I was working with on the night shift.
Right.
Like my coworkers, I was able to talk to them about Jesus, and because I had made a vow when I'd stopped. I'd worked at gas station in 2022.
Okay.
And I'd made a vow I'm never doing another normal job again. Like, I only want to do comedy. And then, of course, I started 2023 with working at the gas station thinking, oh, my gosh, I'm a failure. I have to go back to doing this just for God to turn it around.
Yeah.
And it be the biggest help. Because, like, I strongly believe there's more to life than comedy. That there's more to just laughing than life. And if I didn't go back, never would have formed those relationships, never would have had those opportunities to talk to those people, never would have met those customers who were struggling like crazy. And I'm a happy person. Like, I can't hide it. I'm a joyful person.
Yeah.
And people coming in on the night shift are not joyful people.
different
so,
time,
oh, yeah. So for them, like, I was able to be a light for them at night. And I was their night light.
That's
and
awesome.
just thinking about it, but literally, and it was so nice because I was able. They'd be like, "Why are you so happy?" And why are you so joyful? And I was able to tell them it's literally because of Jesus at work in my life.
That's amazing.
I can't. I've not done any of this all by myself,
That's so cool,
dude.
That's so cool, man.
It's I would not be able to tell you this story clearly without God in the center of it.
Yeah.
So it's so awesome to be going through it because it's still happening. The Memphis show hasn't happened yet. It's still 2023.
Right.
So from the beginning of this year to now, things have done a
I mean, that's incredible.
swing. Yeah.
That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Man, I'm going to buy your book one day.
When I started comedy, I started writing down notes of every single day of something special that happened, just in case.
Smart.
I read a book.
Smart.
I have written down the first day I ever came to Soul Joe's.
Really?
Yeah. And
That's awesome, man.
I don't remember what day it was, but I know it's in there because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started writing down every day for. Yeah,
Beautiful thing.
Dude, give out your social handles and everything, your website.
My website is mrmccartney.com, MISTERMCCARTNEY.com. Yeah, sorry.
Solid work. Solid work.
Almost forgot. And then
1 year of college.
But his name, his entire life.
hey, right. And then social media, all the social media handles are Real Christian McCartney. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Real Christian McCartney, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Dude.
I also had to make because people were stealing my content and posting it on Facebook.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, dude. They were stealing my TikToks and making, and they had like 700,000 followers on.
Dude, remember the whole conversation we had with Brett Druck about this kind of thing?
Yes.
You need to talk
It's
to Brett Druck if
terrible.
you haven't gotten figured that out yet.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
It was another God thing. It turned around like that because I didn't have a Facebook because I thought old people are on Facebook. They don't want to watch my videos.
I get it.
And
I said goodnight.
I was completely pushing out that audience.
Yeah.
And then after I saw somebody else was using my material,
Yeah.
and they had an audience, I was like, okay, clearly there's people to be reached on Facebook.
Yeah. They're my people. These are my people.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them back.
And it was disgusting because
Yeah.
the person was having them donate money.
Oh.
And I'm like, ugh, I would never do that to my followers unless it was like for a specific foundation, not just donating money to
Dude,
me.
this happens on somebody stole Bobby Lee's identity on Twitter and was selling computers.
Bobby Lee.
Yeah, totally, man. Can you imagine buying a computer from Bobby Lee?
That is hilarious.
I mean, age is a technology, but still.
I wouldn't trust buying anything from Bobby
Yeah.
Lee.
No.
Let alone
No.
a computer.
Nope.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that's
That is
wild.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, it's been a lot of fun, man. Rising
Oh my
star.
gosh,
Definitely
yeah.
follow him and remember his name.
Yeah.
Yep. For Christian, Alan Hill, Soul Joel. It's been Bring 'em Out.